A lot of couples who don't only date one person have rules and limits in place. Most of the time, they do this to try to protect the relationship from things outside of the couple that they think could hurt it. I just met a man for the first time who didn't let people sleep over. It made me think about what sleepovers have meant for me and my husband as we've explored non-monogamy and why some couples don't like them. For starters, my husband and I have never had a no sleepover rule. When my husband met a woman in a city more than 200 miles away, we had to figure out how to make a sleepover happen right away. His first date with her was a sleepover because he couldn't drive home, and we were probably too cheap to pay for a hotel room if I'm being completely honest. After that date that set a new standard, we could have sleepovers. We did agree, though, on some rules for sleepovers. They couldn't happen too often or right after every date, but about once a month we could pack an overnight bag. We didn't think too much about how important a sleepover was at the time. We just saw them as a way to avoid a long drive or to spend more time with someone we liked. I have slept over with a few different people since then. I was surprised to find out that sleepovers aren't as easy as I thought they would be. In fact, I think about the meaning of a sleepover a lot more now than I did when we first started exploring non-monogamy. Why? Well, because sleepovers have been the cause of a lot of things. The first night I spent with one of my first non-monogamous partners, I fell in love. It's hard to say why, but his body next to me that night felt warm and safe. When he held me, I felt love all around me. Overnight, my body responded to his, and I learned what it means to have more than one love. We didn't plan to fall in love when we started dating, so it took a while for my husband to get used to the idea when I told him that my feelings for this person had grown a lot. The relationship with another person ended because of sleepovers. We'd been going out for a few months, and everything was going well. We got along, had fun hanging out over beers, and had good sex. But when we had a sleepover, I felt very far away from them. Even though I'm not the cuddliest person in the world, I do like to cuddle up in bed. But when I slept over a few times, he just rolled over and went to sleep. I know, that's supposed to be what you do at night. But we didn't spend much time together at night, and I thought he could stay up a little longer and cuddle. No. Anyway, he didn't fall asleep because we broke up. It was because when I tried to talk to him about how I felt distant from him at night, he got defensive and made it clear that he was only interested in a causal relationship. I guess I was looking for more, and during our sleepovers, it was clear that what each of us was looking for was different. With one of my most recent partners, I found out that I could still enjoy sex at 4 a.m. like I did when I was 18 even though I wasn't getting enough sleep. I have also learned what it's like to see my partners when they are not with me. My partners and I are usually at our best on dates. But overnight, people fart, snore, urinate, wake up with bad breath and wild hair, and then do it all over again. It's like seeing my dates' real lives that I never get to see on a date. Yes, some of them are way less attractive when they have bad morning breaths, but sometimes it's nice to see the real person. It helps them seem more real. So, yeah, my sleepovers have been pretty different. I've also had a lot of different feelings about my husband's sleepovers. When it comes to one of his partners, I don't feel jealous. I would go so far as to say that I feel guilty. But every time he spends the night with another one of his partners, I get very angry and jealous. Jealousy is a powerful mix of envy, being weak, and feeling insecure about yourself. Why is he sleeping with this other woman while I'm alone in our bed? Will he start loving her right away? Will he choose her over me? I have met him when he came home from sleepovers more irritated than I care to admit. We've also had to figure out how we feel about the other person spending a whole night escaping the reality of our family life. This just became clear when my husband missed a call from our daughter that was very important while he was at a sleepover, and I was away on a business trip. He had really and completely gotten away, but we still have a family and things to do. After a pretty heated conversation, We've come up with a plan for how to stay at least somewhat available during a sleepover. We also had to decide how long a sleepover would last. A conversation that started when I came home from a sleepover at 1 p.m. to an angry and jealous husband. You might wonder why we would still let kids have sleepovers after all this. It's a good question. The logistical reason is easy to explain, especially since hotel rooms cost so much, but the non-logistical reason is harder to explain. I think I'm attracted to the closeness that comes from lying in each other's arms at the end of a date instead of getting dressed and driving away. The late night talks and the way I drift in and out of sleep make me feel more connected. It brings people together. And getting up and having sex in the morning is a delicious treat. I also think it's appealing to feel, even if only for a short time, that the relationship is going up one step on the relationship escalator like most other relationships do. I have a lot of rules in my relationships that aren't monogamous. When I have a sleepover, I can slowly take down some of the fences. I can pretend for one night that I don't have kids, a husband, or a dog, and spend the whole evening with my lover. Even though I know that not all non-monogamous couples can have sleepovers, I will still be able to. Even though I've had some bad dates, I want to have relationships with my partners beyond date nights. And if that means I have to listen to them snore all night, I guess it's worth it.